Did you know that this universe is 13.8 billion years old, and what happened when the universe first came into existence? For over 50 years, scientific evidence has shown us that the universe began with a big explosion. If we go back to the very first moment and the beginning of everything, we can imagine that all the things we see in the universe today were once concentrated in a single point. This theory alone can no longer provide a convincing description of the starting point of everything, and it cannot be said that the Big Bang is exactly equal to the birth of space and time. But if the Big Bang was not really the starting point of everything, then what was? And what existed in space before this big explosion? Today, most scientists, astronomers, and cosmologists believe that the universe we know came into being as a result of a Big Bang. This theory stems from the observation that galaxies are moving away from our galaxy at high speeds in all directions, as if the force of an ancient explosion is propelling them away. The Big Bang hypothesis states that all matter, both current and ancient, was created simultaneously around 13.8 billion years ago. It is thought that in such an extremely dense and energetic state, the four fundamental forces, gravity, electromagnetism, and the strong and weak nuclear forces, were unified as a single force. After the initial expansion, the universe cooled down enough for subatomic particles to form, followed by simple atoms. The gravitational force led to the merging of massive clouds of primordial elements, mostly hydrogen along with some helium and lithium, resulting in the formation of stars and galaxies. 400 million years after the Big Bang, the first galaxy was born. Billions of years later, stars, galaxies, and cosmic clusters formed, eventually leading to the birth of the Milky Way galaxy and the solar system. In fact, the Big Bang occurred 13.8 billion years ago. However, it took nearly 10 billion years for the solar system to form. The Big Bang explosion was a fraction of a second. However, the formation of galaxies is a billion-year process. Who proposed the Big Bang theory? Georges Lemaitre, a Belgian astronomer, first announced in 1927 that an expanding universe could be traced back in time to a specific point, which he termed the primeval atom. Thus, the Big Bang theory was formed. According to the Big Bang theory, our universe appeared from an infinitely hot, dense, and almost completely homogeneous state. There are four pieces of evidence to support this theory. 1. Hubble's law, which shows that the longer the wavelength of light coming from a distant object, the farther that object is from us. 2. The existence of cosmic microwave background radiation, CMB, in all directions and everywhere with a uniform temperature just a few degrees above absolute zero. 3. Light elements, like hydrogen, deuterium, helium-3, helium-4, and lithium-7, which existed before the formation of any stars in space. 4. A vast cosmic web that becomes denser and more crowded over time, with the space between its masses expanding larger and larger. These 4 points: Hubble's law, the existence and properties of cosmic microwave background radiation, the abundance of light elements resulting from nucleosynthesis, and the formation and expansion of large structures in the universe formed the 4 cornerstones of the Big Bang theory. The phenomenon of redshift. According to Hubble's law, the farther a galaxy is from us, the more its light shifts toward longer wavelengths. Problems of the Big Bang theory. The problems of the Big Bang theory had long occupied the minds of cosmologists and physicists until about 40 years ago, when the idea of cosmic inflation was proposed by Alan Guth. In physical cosmology, cosmic inflation refers to the rapid expansion of the early universe at a speed much greater than the speed of light. After the end of the inflationary period, the universe continued to expand but at a slower rate. According to Big Bang reports, the direct consequence of inflation is that the entire universe began from a small, interdependent region. History of the emergence of the Big Bang theory. The first signs of the Big Bang were obtained from observations in the depths of space in the early 20th century. In 1912, American astronomer Vesta Melvin Slipher observed spiral galaxies, which at the time were thought to be nebulae, and noticed that in almost all cases, these objects were moving away from the Milky Way galaxy. Was the Big Bang an explosion? According to Einstein's general theory of relativity, the Big Bang was not an explosion but a cosmic expansion. In this expansion, all distances between objects increased. This means that galaxies that are farther away from us are receding at a faster rate. Einstein insisted, relying on his then cosmological constant, that the universe was static. However, Friedman's calculations showed that the universe is actually expanding. All these discussions about the Big Bang to this point concern how the universe came into being, not why it did. This theory suggests that our universe existed in a hotter, denser, and more uniform state in the past. However, this does not mean that matter and energy reached such extremes of heat and density that the laws of physics ceased to apply. The idea that space and time emerged from a singularity about 14 billion years ago is no longer accepted. Instead, there was a pre-existing space with intrinsic energy that helped create the conditions for the Big Bang to occur through cosmic inflation. The effects of the Big Bang are still observable in the universe. For example, the Earth we live on shows thermal effects from the Big Bang. This extraordinary phenomenon also reminds us how complex and astonishing the universe is. In other words, the Big Bang may not be the beginning of the entire universe, it is the beginning of the universe we know. The Big Bang is not an absolute start, but rather our start. And while this story may not be complete, it is an essential part of the cosmic narrative that connects us all. What do you think about the Big Bang and other theories of the origin of the universe? Did a universe exist before our universe, creating the raw materials for the Big Bang?